So in this short video, I'm going to explain how to use and install the PRM custom UI that I've created for this class. So on the workbook and on FSO as well, there is a place for you to download the custom UI. And when you do download that custom UI, this is what you're going to get right here. Okay. So PRM custom UI, you get a folder. You will have two different UIs in there, one for 4R8 and one for 2018. If you are in 4R8 though, I do encourage you to update to 2018 as soon as you can, please. All right. Instructions were sent in the welcome letter that you got. And you can also just go to pixelogic.com and all the information you need is right there. But in this folder, you have two custom UIs. There's also a text document right here that will explain how to and where to install the custom UI. And there's also a little bit, something extra here, a little macro that I've created. Because in the custom UI for 2018, I've created a macro button that does a couple of things inside of ZBrush here. And you need to install this macro instructions for the button to work. So in your applications folder, all right, so I'm in my applications folder here, applications, right down here, ZBrush 2018. All right, so if you go into, so what you're going to want to do is take, you're going to have two things to install here. You're going to take these two guys right here, these CFGs, all right, custom UI, and you're going to take those and put those into your applications, ZBrush 2018. You're going to go to Z Startup, User Interface Layouts, okay, and then you can just take these guys right here and drag them into this folder if you want, okay, or you can copy them in there. Okay, so once you do that, then you're going to take this right here, go to macro, and take all of this and copy it. And you can copy it, or if you want, you can drag it. But you're going to go over here to, let's see, where is it here? Oh, sorry, Z Startup, Macros, Miscellaneous, right? And you're going to put these three files in here, and you can see I have those right here. Okay. So you'll put those in there, and you'll put those, just these two CFG files into the user interface layouts right here. Okay, and let me just pull this out right here. You can see right here, PRM 2018 custom UI, same as this right here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to load up. So now if we come over here to ZBrush, come over to Preferences. All right, open up Config and Load UI. All right, then you're going to want to go to your Applications folder, ZBrush 2018, Z Startup, User Interface Layouts, and right there, PRM Custom 2018. Okay, and then go ahead and open that up. And this is what you'll see right here. Now, a lot of this stuff is grayed out until you bring in a piece of geometry. Okay. Also, too, notice if you see a little bit of gray like this on the sides, you can come over here to Document and just say New Document, and that will fill that up for you. Okay. And so this is the custom UI right here. Let's go ahead and bring in a piece of geometry. I'm going to just go ahead and grab a sphere, click and drag it out, and hit Edit. All right. And as soon as we hit Edit, you can see that everything that was grayed out, excuse me, is now available to us. And a couple of things that I want to point out, for sure, is right down here. This is your auto timer. So if you were to save a file or initialize ZBrush, let's say I've been sculpting for a while and I want to start something new. I would come up here to initialize ZBrush and say yes. Right? And that would clear my canvas for me. That would just allow me to start something new. But you'll notice that everything again is grayed out until we bring in some geometry. But right here, my auto timer resets itself back to 20 minutes and 1 minute. So that means that every 20 minutes, ZBrush is going to save for me. And the rest duration, if I walk away for a minute, ZBrush will, or if there's no activity in ZBrush after 1 minute, ZBrush will save. All right. Those are things that I prefer to do myself. These are automatic inside of ZBrush. So this is why I've put them out front. And what I prefer to do is max these out all the way up to 600. So this way ZBrush won't auto-save on me. So I control the saving instead of ZBrush saving every 20 minutes. Now, that's a personal preference. Some people like the auto-saves. I prefer to do this myself. So this is why I put this out front. This right here is buried up in Preferences, Quick Save, and you can see it's right down here. So I just put those out front. I've also put out front several brushes, some materials, a lot of tools that are commonly used. And I've also have this Start button right here. Now, for this Start button to work, what you need to do is install the macros. So here is the macros folder, right? So if you install those macros right there, and right inside that macros folder right there, Z Startup, right? We're in Applications, ZBrush 2018, Z Startup, Macros, Miscellaneous. Put those folders right there, okay? And with this Startup button right here, okay, I'll show you what that does in a second. Just give me 1 second here. So I max these out at 600, and then I like to come over to Document and take the back right here, the range. And if you take that range and slide it, you can see it gives you a nice neutral gray background. Okay. So this is how I like to start ZBrush, with this neutral gray and with the self-timer maxed out. So let me come back over here to initialize ZBrush. All right. And you can see again, this is what we get. This resets, and this resets as well. The Start button, if you press that, it will give you the gray background, and it'll reset that to 600 for you. Okay, so that's what the macro does. It just resets all of this stuff right here. Okay, so again, let's go ahead and bring out a piece of geometry, and just to go ahead and hit Edit. And just to show you again, all of the more commonly used brushes are right down here. There's some selection tools and some clipping tools, as well as a few different materials. The more commonly, the materials that I think are best for sculpting in. The basic material 2, and sometimes the skin shade. Okay. Yeah, so that's everything right here. If we go ahead, and let me go ahead and make this a Polymesh 3D. All right. And you can see that I've also, once you do that, you also have access to Dynamesh functionality, Z-Remesher functionality, Mirror and Weld, Polish by Features. So there's several tools in here, some poly grouping tools. And again, this is just an effort to bring some of the more commonly used tools and buttons out front, so you don't have to go digging through menus to find them. As you watch the videos that I've created for you, let me come back over here. All right, the videos that are created for you in each of these, I'm using the custom UI, so it's going to be easier for you to follow along with me if you're using the custom UI. Okay, so you'll see there's all kinds of stuff in here, some YouTube links. Okay. So really, you should be leaning heavily on this workbook right here. Okay, if you want to create your own custom UI, there is a video right here that'll show you how to do that. It's very simple. Creating hotkeys, and the macro that I just installed, there's a video right here that shows you how you can create your own macros. Again, these are great for sort of repetitive actions. And this is why I made this Start button right here, because every time I initialize or start ZBrush, I want this gray and I want this self-timer to max out. Okay, so that's it. If you have any questions on installing the custom UI, one last thing. Let me come over here back to Preferences. This is kind of important. In config right here where you loaded up your UI, if you want to keep this custom UI every time you open, you need to come over here and hit store config. All right, store config will not save UI, store config, and that will make sure that this UI opens every time you open up ZBrush. You can always revert back to the standard UI right here. Okay, if for whatever reason that if you want to, sometimes getting used to the custom UI takes a little while. All right, especially if you're used to the default UI. All right, if you have any questions for me, please contact me. I'd be glad to help.